Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. I am back with volume 10 of reader questions. I love getting your questions. Some of these questions really make you think a little bit, and it's good to have this interaction, and I try and post some of these responses here on the channel because maybe someone else is either too afraid to reach out and ask, or maybe they've been kind of wondering the same thing, and us discussing some of your questions on my channel here will just get us to a better understanding of how we can best practice OMAD. And I never reveal any personal information. I always kind of change the names if I can. And I don't give medical advice. So of those questions, I think there have been only a few people who have really asked me more medical related questions, and I always have you refer back to your doctor. Again, I'm a trained chef. You don't want me diagnosing anything for you. Okay, but this next one comes from E. It's actually two questions. He said, I'm assuming it's a he. Once you get to maintenance mode, do you only OMAD a few days a week or continue for all 7 days? And he or she is referring to OMAD Revolution Channel's Joe. I believe he may have said that you should probably only do it a few days a week once you're in maintenance mode. And then the second question is, how often do you do cheat days? Well, great questions, E. Let's take your second question first because it's probably the easiest. How often do you do cheat days? I don't do cheat days all that often anymore. I've learned that they really slow any sort of progress. It usually takes a few days to recover from them. Not that I would go on a super crazy binge, but I really don't see, for me, any real point to it. I like eating once a day. I like to have my one meal. I eat what I like. I keep it sensible. I do track my calories. And that's it. I don't really necessarily have to have a cheat day anyway, because I could eat what I want. If I'm craving a burger, I'll work it into a meal. You know, this is one thing that when you do this for any length of time, is that you really develop and learned self-control mechanisms. And so if you've had your OMAD and you go out with someone and they're having pizza and it's at one of your favorite places, but you've already eaten and it's not your time to eat, then mentally you just kind of have moved on, and you'll sit there and enjoy the time with the person, and maybe you'll have a water or coffee or something like that. But you know, if you know ahead of time, you could plan it so that your OMAD is with that person if you're going out to eat in this example. But I really don't do cheat days because I don't feel like celebrating with food. I don't have to cope with food anymore. And I can eat what I want. So really there's no reason for me to have a cheat day. Are there some days where I get a little hungrier than others before my window opens? Sure. But I've come to embrace it. I've come to get used to it. And I kind of actually like the feeling of knowing that, you know, you can feel when your stomach is emptied. I just operate better on an emptier stomach than if I'm full. You know, I don't always have to have a snack available or something around. So to answer your question, I don't do cheat days anymore. There's always an exception to the rule. Something may pop up. It's fine. It's okay. Life happens. I make the conscious choice to do it. And sometimes it's good to just reaffirm what we do and how much I love just sticking to eating my one meal. Now, your first question, once you get into maintenance mode, do I do OMAD just a few days a week, or do I do it for all 7 days, or a mix? Really, it is up to you. See, this is why it's kind of, OMAD can sometimes be difficult for people, is that it requires a little bit of personal experimentation as to how you're going to handle this. The main thing is, again, self-control. So whether you do OMAD and you stick to it for 7 days, or whether you just do it a few days here and then you just kind of go free for all, not free for all, but you know, kind of do freestyle for the rest, it's really up to you. It's your personal choice, your decision. As long as you're remaining in control. you know, sticking to the one meal is probably best for people, even in maintenance mode, that tend to have those slip-ups where it's, you know, you give them an inch and they take a mile. As I said, I personally enjoy just eating my one meal. It's special. It's far less prep. It's far less cleaning. I feel I operate during the day better. So I can stay in my maintenance mode and I can do OMAD for all 7 days and it's fine. And, you know, when I'm in maintenance, as I'm in maintenance mode and just trying to maintain the status quo, even if I'm just having my one meal, I may have a slightly larger OMAD, or I may not really be obsessive with tracking any of my calories, but I'm still going to remain in control. If I feel that I'm getting toward the higher end of my my weight range, and there is a range, nothing stays static forever. If I feel like I'm getting to the higher end, and it's like, okay, I need to cut back a little bit, I'll go right into the OPAD variation. And in another video coming up, I'm going to do a what I eat in a day OMAD strict OPAD variation. So in other words, just my one plate meals. As there are sometimes, as I've said before, it's kind of a little inappropriate or not right to be able to put what you eat on one plate, because you just don't want sauces that are hot mixing with, say, lettuce and fruit or whatever. But when I want to go back into my more of a cutting phase, getting down to the lower end of my my weight range, my healthy weight range, then I'll stick to a couple of weeks of the OPAD variation, and I'm right back there. But I'm still doing OMAD. So I hope that makes sense. As I've said in many of my videos on this channel, don't be afraid to experiment. What I would do is I would say, not back to back either, but I would say maybe 2 days of the week I'm going to kind of go freestyle and not stick to my OMAD now that I'm in maintenance mode, and try it out and see how it works. If you feel you handle that well, maybe you can add a little more. Even if you abandon it entirely though, number one, you know that you have self-control, because this is what OMAD teaches. This is what it instills in you. And you know, too, that you could always revert back to what was working for you and successful, and you'd be right back to where you were. So either way, don't be afraid to do a little bit of experimenting. And even when it comes to your cheat days, you know, if you feel that you absolutely need to have your cheat days on a semi-regular basis, that's your life too. It's your choice. Go for it. But at the end of the day, it's all about maintaining self-control and finding out what works best for you. And that's it for me for today, E. I hope that was very helpful for you, and I hope for everybody else that was watching. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and healthy. I hope you guys are having a great week. Very happy OMAD, and we'll see you next time, so be well.